I adore villains. Without villains, every well-known story would be an absolute bore. And let's be honest, we all love to be the villain from time to time. And if there's one aspect of musical theatre to look forward to, it's the villain's musical number. What I'm about to present is my personal favourite in that genre, and how they feel they represent each character in the world they're set in. Please note, I'll be looking at musical numbers from films that originated on stage, mostly because I feel like on stage you can really appreciate the full spectacle of the performance. But let's begin. As a retelling of early American history, it makes sense for King George, the historic monarch at the time, to be the villain, shown here expressing his disapproval of America's revolution and how now, no matter what happens, they'll be right back under British rule. In the style of a desperate breakup song. Much like King George, King Harold is another monarch who's challenging someone, only this time face to face. But while King George sings in a threatening yet desperate tone, King Harold has a more mockery vibe. He knows he'll get away with everything, and there's nothing the hero can do to stop him. Jekyll's alter ego, who finally frees himself, embracing his animalistic side and gleefully expressing his desire to commit evil, while saying that the devil himself will fight alongside him. As of now, there is no proper film adaptation of the Jekyll and Hyde musical, but whoever they cast certainly has a lot to live up to. A film that combines high school drama with zombie horror with a dash of musicals in is certainly a mixed bag, but Anna and the Apocalypse definitely balances the tones perfectly, and no scene shows this more than the villain's big musical breakdown, fully committing himself to the new world he finds himself in, loving the chance to finally take control of the situation, and if no one complies, then there'll be zombie dinner. Two songs, two characters, one film, and each song perfectly represents how similar but different each one is. On one side, we have a sadistic dentist, clearly showing how much joy his job gives him and how much suffering his patients are receiving. While on the other side, we have an alien plant, proudly claiming how it's going to take over the world and how the hero is hopeless in stopping him. The perfect villain introduction needs to be iconic, memorable, bombastic, flamboyant, over the top, and Sweet Transvestite incorporates all those elements in one perfect package. With a charismatic actor playing the role, this is surely one night you're never going to forget. While I admit I'm not exactly the biggest Phantom of the Opera fan, I can't deny the iconic impact that the lead title song brought to the story. Seducing us in the same way that he's seducing her, it definitely incorporates eerie, sinister vibes that captivates its audience in a almost hypnotic tone. In many ways, the entire soundtrack to Sweeney Todd can be considered one giant villain song. However, there's three in particular that stand out. A Little Priest, where the two characters, Sweeney Todd and Miss Lovett, decide to embrace their villainous nature and go down the dark side. Pretty Women, where Sweeney Todd and the judge, who ruined his life, cheerfully sing about committing the most horrible things imaginable, yet never once losing focus on committing their deeds. And finally, Epiphany, where we look into the character's motivation and reason why he's doing it in his own personal philosophy. During Master of the House, Mr. Thénardier is constantly conning and scheming his guests out of their money, while cheerfully putting on a friendly persona, making his guests feel welcome and easily fooled. And this is why it's the perfect villain song. because it does the one thing that other villain songs don't do. It not only tricks the characters in the story, it also tricks the audience, making him present himself as a lovable rogue when really he's a crooked scoundrel. Later on in the musical, he sings Dog Eats Dog, which is widely considered a true villain musical number in the actual story, as it explores Thénardier's motivation and how he's willing to rob dead bodies, and there's no lines he's willing to cross to get rich, which finally concludes with Beggars of the Feast, where the Thénardiers gleefully sing about their survival and how they're always going to get away with their actions. What can I say about Disney villains that hasn't already been said, and how their musical numbers are always the highlight of their films? When it comes to Disney villains, their musical numbers incorporate everything we need in a villain musical number. They're flamboyant, they're over the top, they are bombastic, they explain who the villain is and what their motivation is. They can be colourful and sinister or dark and gritty. Whenever you want a perfect villain song, you look at Disney films. I hope you enjoyed this little journey through different villain songs. If there's a villain song that you personally enjoyed that I didn't include, feel free to comment below. And as always, I hope you have a nice day.